Right, tomato sausages, or specifically tomato sausages with pork and beef. Originally I come from Nottinghamshire, and Nottingham, where the tomato sausages tend to be made with pork and beef, or at least they did in some of the places I used to go to buy them. And I've got here it's rather lean, this pork mince, which is not really desirable, but we tend to prefer a better mixture of fat. But there's plenty of fat in this beef and pork mince. So I've got a total of 500 grams of pork and 750 grams of pork and beef. So that's 1¼ kilograms of minced meat. Now, you can make your own pork sausage meat by grinding it up yourself. Now, some of you have got attachments for your fancy mixers, and some of you may have one of these lovely old school grinders like I've got. And I've even got a sausage filler for that old machine as well. I really do love that old thing. Once upon a time, every English household probably had one. Probably every household in Europe probably had one. And we used to make rissoles and stuff by grinding up what was left of the Sunday roast and mixing it with the stuffing and what have you. And that would be a nice midweek dish. If you want to see rissoles, my version of them, let's see it in the comments below the video. Just tell me. Right, I've also got a sausage filler machine, which is a relatively cheap sausage filler machine available from Amazon. And this meat grinder I showed you before, that's available on Amazon. All these are in my Amazon influencer list, which is below this video. There's a link to that below this video. And the sausage filler is really handy. Right, in addition to the meat, 1¼ kilograms, I have, that's 150 grams of breadcrumbs, which you can buy sausage filler rusk if you like, but or you can use breadcrumbs out of a packet. Panko breadcrumbs would be quite useful. But I've just made it myself. I've just I just took 3 of these white rolls, split them open, dried them in my oven for an hour or so, and then ground them up. So that's quite useful. I've got here 50 grams of Lincolnshire sausage mix. So it's Lincolnshire sausage seasoning mix. Right, if you want to see how to make an excellent sausage meat, go and see my friend Mr. Paul. I'll link him up here, and I'll link him in the description below. And I'll also put a link to his channel at the end of this video, so please stay tuned for that. So I've got that 50 grams of Lincolnshire sausage fillet, which is a kind of a nutmeg and sage mix with salt and a couple of other flavourings. Now, you can buy all these sausage seasonings online. You can buy them, I know Amazon, you can buy them. You can buy Lincolnshire sausage seasoning. And again, there's a link on the ingredients in my Amazon influencer store, which is linked in the description below this video. I've got some sausage skins which I've had soaking. Now, these are natural casings, which I buy again online, and they're again listed in the ingredients in my Amazon influencer store. And these are natural skin casings, so the natural hog skin casings, and they're 34 to 38 by 15 meters. This is quite a big one. The one I've actually linked first in my store is a smaller amount, a cheaper amount than that. But that's an unopened packet. I've got to use these up first. So, in addition to that, because we're talking tomato sausages, I'm going to use some tomato puree, tomato paste, and because I'm feeling it at the moment, I'm going to use a little bit of smoked paprika, and that's just I'm just going to chuck that in with the rest of my seasoning. That goes into the Lincolnshire seasoning. I'm just putting in a bit of smoked paprika, and that's mainly for the colour, and a little tinge of that smoky taste won't hurt at the moment because I'm kind of feeling it, like I said. Alright, so the next thing we need to do is to get this mixed up. The other thing you'll need is about 400 millilitres of ice cold water, which we'll get onto now. So onwards and upwards, let's get this set up and start making this sausage meat. I just want to talk about my sausage fillers. What I've got here is 3 different spouts. So this is a really thin spout, which is okay for things like chipolata sausages, merguez sausages. I've got a thicker one, which is good for things like bratwurst, the kind of thicker or the thick bangers. And this one is a medium-sized one, which I'm guessing will be pretty good for English-style sausages. Okay. Right, let's get this done. So, into the middle wants to go my bowl. So get a nice big mixing bowl because you'll need it. First thing into the bowl goes the minced pork and beef. You can use all pork, by the way, all minced pork, but make sure it's got a reasonable amount of fat in it. And into that goes the pure pork mince. Onto that goes my breadcrumb mix and my seasoning. So it all goes in together. And then I'm going to work that by hand. You can also do this in your Kenwood mixer like Mr. Paul's does, because I think Mr. Paul's is suffering from a bit of arthritis, so he doesn't. And if you're not subscribed to Mr. Paul, get over there and get subscribed, because the guy's a whiz. He really is brilliant. He's a lovely fella, and he got a lot of expertise because he's worked as a butcher for many years, and he really knows his stuff. He actually lives in Spain. I think he's a Yorkshireman who moved to Spain some time ago. So I'm just going to mix that in like that, and then I'm going to add a little bit of this cold water. Just a little bit, just to get it all mixed up. Let's get that going. Get it all mixed in. I think a bit more. So I'm going to work that for a while, and I'm going to add a bit more water to it as I go, because what I want is I want to get it to a stage where it's rather sticky. And at the moment you'll see it's not sticky. It's just coming away from my hand without being sticky at all. And notice also that smoked paprika is transferring its beautiful red ochre colour to my hands. So I'm just going to add a bit more of that water in. So it's about, I said, about 400 mils of ice cold water, and then you want to mix it in till it's really even. I'm just going to carry on now, and I'll get back to you when I'm ready, when I've got something to show you. So there we go. I've been working that for about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, about 5 minutes actually. And it's, as you can see now, look, it's sticking to my hands. And according to my friend Mr. Paul, that is the way it should be. So it's all nice and evenly mixed. It's sticking to my hands. I'm curious as to how it's going to taste. So I can't just take a taste test because it's got pork in it. So I'm just going to drop a little bit on there and microwave it. Alright, let's have a taste. The taste is absolutely amazing. That's really, really good. Right, what I need to do now is work in some tomato puree, and I have no idea how much of this I'm going to need. So I'm going to squeeze in 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, 3 tablespoons, and see how we go with that. Just mix it all in, and then we'll do another taste test, see what it turns out like. Right, looking at that, I think I'm going to need a couple more. So we'll call it 5-6 tablespoons, which is about 150 grams of tomato paste. That's looking really good, and it's making the mixture a little bit more sticky, which is desirable. I've just got to work that well into it now. The sausage meat had a great taste, so it would have been a great sausage before the tomato element. This wonderful East Midland delicacy. I think they're available all over the Midlands, but of course I know them from the East Midlands, and also I think they're quite popular in South Yorkshire. They're really nice. I've always enjoyed them. They've always been a welcome sight on a breakfast plate for me. I think we're ready for taste test number 2. Take a little blob. Well, it's certainly starting to look the part, because that's kind of the look I'm going for. Let's have a taste. Okay, I'm going to put the rest of that tomato in there, so that's going to make it up to 200 grams, which is in there. I mean, it's tomatoey enough already, but might as well use it up. And then that'll be ready for stuffing the sausages. So it's important to taste as you go with things like this. And the good thing about having a microwave is you can pop a little blob like that, little popcorn sized piece of sausage meat on a plate, nuke it for 30 seconds, and then give it a taste, and then you've got no excuse for having rubbish sausages. I knew the seasoning would work because I trust my friend Mr. Paul, and he's really good at that sort of thing. And be kind to me, guys, because this is the first time I've made tomato sausages. In fact, I've made a lot of sausages, but they've all been bratwurst, German ones, which is made in a slightly different way to this. And it's a rather unusual thing to put rusk in anywhere else but the United Kingdom and Ireland, really. And we've always kind of traditionally made them fresh and eaten them within 1 or 2 days, you know, before they went stale. And nearly always fried them. Very rarely boiled is a British sausage, apart from some of the puddings that we call puddings, like black pudding and white pudding and haggis. They're done that way. They're boiled. I think that's ready to put into our sausage machine now. So I've decided to do it this way. So I'll just pack all that into my sausage machine. And it's quite a lot. I mean, the sausage machine will handle quite a lot of, even though it's just a small homemaking sausage machine. It's not an industrial one at all. It's just a cheap little machine for making sausages at home. Needless to say, everything has to be completely spotless before you do this, and make sure it's firmly fixed. And then what I want to do, I've got this one comes with this nice sort of sucker cup on the bottom, so I can just dampen that a little bit and then take it over like that to fix it to a any glassy surface will secure it. So there we go. So that's kind of fixed to there. So what I want to do is take my casing out of here and get myself a nice long one that will accommodate. Let's have a look. These are all good length ones, and let's find the end of it. There's a skill to this, but you'll eventually get it. It's not that hard. And then what you do is you wind that onto the spigot, whatever you call it. It looks like a spigot to me, so I'll call it a spigot. It's a spout. So you get all that wound onto the spout. I'm sure any professional butchers out there are laughing at me now, because I'm really no expert at this. I suppose the point I'm trying to prove here is that if I can do it, anyone can do it. So we'll pull that out a little bit, and then you can either tie off that end, or you can just wing it. I think what I'm going to do is try and tie it off. There we go. So I've got a little knot in the end, and then I want it pushed up tight to start with, and then I start. How do I show you that? 1 second. Yeah, I think what I want to do then is get a catch tray over it. So anything will do as long as it works for you. And then you wind it out slowly. Fill in the sausage as you go. You want to keep up a reasonable amount of pressure on it. And just let the sausage fill. Just put minimal pressure on the skin as it goes in. And you don't want to pack the sausage casing too tight for this, because we don't want burst sausages. So as you see, I'm just going along like that, filling it up. And what I can do is I can just squeeze it along, make sure that it's all even. So there's the results of my labour. So there's a sort of a not particularly able demonstration of how to make sausages. But these are going to be nice fat bangers, look at them. They're going to be quite nice and fat. So I'm just going to run them through, make sure they're kind of even all the way through. And then what I'll do is I can't do it like a butcher does it, so I'm just going to get it in like handfuls, give it a twist, and then just measure each one by the previous one, and then just keep twisting it, and so on until I'm finished and got a plate full of sausages. And one large one at the end. So, right, counting them, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and that one 15, and a bit of spare, and whatever is left in the machine, which I'll probably make. I'll just fry that up as sausage meat, but that'll be quite tasty anyway. So that's it, boys and girls. That's as far as the making of these is concerned. Right, the next thing I want to do is go on and show you just how they cook up. So I'm just melting up some of this pork and beef fat that I took off my meatloaf when I cooked it, my hazelnut, when I did my hazelnut recipe. Now, I've got the fat melted and the pan is hot now, but I've now turned it down to 1/3 of my total, so it's down to 3 out of 6, sorry, it's at halfway. And I'll drop it in to the fat. Now, I'm half expecting these to swell up and burst out of each end, because I'm no sausage expert, as you probably saw from my early attempts at making sausages. And then cook them slowly. The secret with these fat sausages is just to cook them slowly and keep them turning. Or alternatively, you can roast them in the oven, but I thought it would look better by cooking them on the top like this. Starting to smell good already, boys and girls. Yeah, as I suspected, I think the skins are starting to shrink a bit, so there will be some issue each side of the skins on these, but I won't tell if you don't. Warts and all, boys and girls, warts and all. So just keep them going at a nice low cook, just a nice low sizzle, and then just keep turning them every now and again. Alright, one little trick I like to use when cooking large sausages is to just cover them for a while with a pan lid to help them steam. They split right out of the casings, apart from this one, which must have had a looser casing. But nevertheless, they're still going to be rather delicious little sausages, I think. So right, I'm going to get this plated up. There you see, served up with French fries, or chips as we call them, and baked beans straight out of the tin, just warmed up, just how my brother likes it. Hey friends, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you would like to follow my channel, please subscribe, and don't forget to click the bell icon and select all to receive notifications for all my future videos. It would be great to hear from you in the comments, and I'll try to get back to as many of you as possible. You may wish to check out these titles, or even help me out with a donation using the links in the description below the video. Thanks for watching.